Hi everyone, I'm Paul Kankowitz, and this is the weekly update for my 2D PvP game with grappling hooks. This week, I was pretty laser focused on getting multiplayer into the game, because you can't have a PvP game without multiplayer. In fact, one of my development strategies on any game is to ask myself, if this game were going to fail to ship today, what would be the reason? And then I implement or fix that thing. I started by converting the input manager to handle multiplayer, which quickly led to a large refactor of most of the game's objects. As I mentioned, the project started off as a port of a Game Jam game I worked on, which had assumed that there would only be one player object. I added this temporary front-end screen to handle input switching between controller and keyboard and mouse. I then updated the camera to handle multiplayer. It now works sort of like the camera in Smash Bros, where it'll keep all the players on the screen. The distortion you see on sprites when it zooms out should be fixed later once I get higher resolution sprites, but there's no use worrying about that until I get an artist. Getting the camera to work right honestly took up the bulk of the time this week, because for some reason I just couldn't get it right. When I finally got it working, I was so happy that I'll never have to deal with that again. I spent some time working on, huge air quotes here, player death Ragdoll, because it was incredibly enjoyable, especially after working on boring things like input and camera work. It's still not perfect, but it feels like a fun little thing that happens when a player dies. Oh, and here's what it looks like zoomed in. Let's see that again in slow motion. Finally, I added some debug drawing for collision to help when I have bugs. There are other debugging tools I added, but they're kind of boring, so I won't show them all. So yeah, I'm really happy with the progress I made this week. More to come next week.